I'm amazed at how many people get drawn into the should we shut the government down or shouldn't we? And if we do, who's going to look bad? Didn't anybody stop to think that you shut it down permanently and everything gets a lot better for the rest of the, for the states? This is a common blind spot, I think, with a lot of conservative commentators. And liberal and conservative alike get drawn into this false dichotomy. Basically what happens is the big business dynamic, the big banks dynamic of the federal government, the lobbyist group that owns the federal government, gets looked at in such a way that they are engaged in a wealth consolidation. Everybody sees this wealth consolidation towards the big banks. There's hundreds and hundreds of small bank closures, failures in the last 2 years, and it seems like there's no letting up. The big banks are swallowing up the little banks, of course, and in general there's a wealth consolidation out of the money's going out of the middle class and up into the upper stratosphere of the super rich. And so what happens is people think, well, we got to get the government to save us from this problem. Okay, and so what happens is you have the other side, the left, trying to say, well, what we need is to give more control to the government so they can do something about it. And so basically what's happening is you're trying to fight wealth consolidation with power consolidation. And two things go hand in hand. In fact, the bureaucrats that are supposed to save us from the banks are owned by the same people. So they got everybody fooled into this tug of war, thinking that one of these consolidations is bad and one is good, whereas neither one is good. And what happens is we get distracted from the real issue. So the answer to the answer to wealth consolidation is power dispersion. Okay, so you want to disperse the power, you want to localize the power, and that'll get rid of your problems with wealth consolidation. And so, of course, I've been promoting the idea of the states. Let's dissolve the union. I think the experiment of the union of states has failed. It's obviously failed, and there's no solution that incorporates a union, because of that's the evil thing in the first place is having that kind of a union of states. That's the culprit. It's the union of states that has caused the wealth consolidation. It's the union of states that has caused the power consolidation that's supposed to save us from the wealth consolidation. And you see, we're caught in this vicious cycle. And what we got to do is be brave enough to break out. And so I splitting people into two categories. You're either a secessionist or you're a coward. And that's the way I'm breaking it down now. You might not like that. You find that offensive. That's too bad. After a while, it'll dawn on you that I'm correct, and it'll either be too late or you'll join me. But this is a blind spot that I think even Alex Jones has. You hear him talking about the current, or the whole argument that took place just in the last couple of weeks about the budget, the whole budget thing, saying that they're um, the Republicans and the conservatives, don't want to see the plug pulled on grandmom and the children starving and all this. See, he's fallen right into the trick of thinking that somehow it's the government that's going to save us from the government. So I think that he's going to realize that in time. I don't think he's going to. I think that once I bring this to his attention, he's going to say, "Hey, you know what? This guy's got a good point. I got dragged into the same. I got fooled by the same thing," and I think it's probably because he hasn't yet thought about the option of dissolving the union. It's what we're supposed to be doing. It's what the founding fathers would have expected us to do a long time ago. So we just got to get on the ball and do that. Another one of blind spot Alex Jones is his interpretation of Islam, thinking that it's not a threat. I think he has to look to see what's going on in Europe. He can, for that matter, he can look to see what's going on in Dearborn, Michigan. But especially look to see what's going on in Europe, and you can see that the elitists are using Islam, the Muslims, to they're sicking the Muslims on us. They're exploiting the Muslims. The elitists hate the Judeo-Christian culture. They hate the individualism and the freedom that it brings, and they could see that Islam's a useful tool against individualism and freedom, and so they're going to use that, and that's actually what's happening. And you don't. I'm surprised actually that Alex Jones can't see that that's what's happening. That the Muslim faith is really wants to dominate the world, and the elitists to own the world are finding this a useful tool. So that's another one of his blind spots. I don't know if that one he would be as readily corrected on. I think there's a lot of people that libertarian type people that have that same problem of thinking that Islam is just another religion like Buddhism or Hinduism or one of those other non-Christian religions. But they really haven't studied the thing, and I think that it's pretty obvious. I mean, if you look to see what's going on, that what I'm saying, the way I'm assessing the situation is correct. Islam really does want to dominate the world. The elitists are exploiting that and using it to crush the Judeo-Christian civilization. So I think that I made some great points in this video, and after given enough time, I know I'm way ahead of the curve. Given enough time, I think people will start catching up to this idea of state secession, and we could actually win our freedom. I don't think it's too late, but that's the way it's got to be done. It has to be done without a central government. It can't be done with a central government. And I know this only because I guess I have this vision. I can see that far. I can look at situations and I can size them up and get to the the nitty-gritty very rapidly. And not because I'm better than other people. It's just I've been gifted that way. And so if I'm one of the things that Michael Savage says, he's right. If you're too far ahead of your time, you can end up in jail. So what I have to do is try to get people to catch my vision first, before I become too outspoken about it. And by the way, I'm not that crazed about it. I mean, if we all die, if we all perish as slaves to an elitist, I'm still going to go to heaven. It's not that it's not like my ultimate faith is being destroyed. They can't destroy my ultimate faith. I'm saved, going to heaven. But Jesus wanted us to pray that it should be on earth as it is in heaven, and that would include freedom. So I'm willing to fight for the freedom, but you can't fight City Hall without sufficient political momentum behind you. So right now I'm just cranking up the rhetoric. If we can get enough political momentum in this direction, secession could be achieved without war. If it has to be done with war, I mean that's not an option that should be ruled out either. I mean, obviously, the Second Amendment was given for that purpose, and I would love to exercise it if need be. I think that would be a blast, converting my semi-automatics to fully automatic and get out there and get the job done. So I hope you'll be brave enough to join me.